streaming through Periscope. Maybe it's something about our internet connection. We have a very, very, very slow internet connection, so maybe it's just that. So let me start over again. So welcome everyone today. My name is Andreina Chirinos, and I am PR manager here at Telos. We are a digital marketing team, and we're currently working on making people aware of what Telos is, creating content about Telos, so that if anyone gets curious about anything about Telos, they have where to go to get their information, and getting new users and getting everyone to know what Telos is. So what we're going to talk about today is developing countries. Our team here at Telos, we're all from Venezuela. So Venezuela is what we consider today a developing country. The terms developed and developing country are fairly new. Before, we used to say it was first world and third world countries. So as I was saying, these terms come from the Cold War. The first world countries were the US, Eastern Europe. Second world countries were Russia, China, and all the allies. And then the third world countries was basically everyone else. The thing is that first world countries were the industrialized countries, the rich ones. Hi, I'm very good. Thanks for asking. So first world countries were the rich countries, the industrialized countries with strong economies. And most of the third world countries were low-income countries with very low incomes. So after the war ended, the terms just stick. They just stayed. They were just stuck there. So they used to call countries like that. But it actually sounds really bad. So it makes it look like third world countries are like third place people, like it's not important. So they started using another terms, which are developed and developing countries. And these terms are still not really accepted. There's some people that don't like them, but it's the ones that are being used today. So the way of determining if a country is developed or in development, in the past, they only used to take into consideration the GDP, which is the gross domestic product of a country, the per capita GDP. But then that only means that you're taking into consideration if a country makes money or not. So that's not enough to determine if a country is in a well place, that if it's a good country and people are okay. So now they also take into consideration something that is called the HDI. It's the the Health Development Index. So that takes into consideration health, education, and standard of living. It means that it's really important now, the welfare of the people. It's really important that people have good lives, that people have a good healthcare and have access to education. Sometimes it's even more important than a country has a high GDP. But in the end, a developed country is one that is above standards of the GDP and the HDI. So yes, raising the GDP helps, because having a high GDP helps you have good healthcare, helps you have education, and helps you have a very strong country. So having a high GDP is important if you want to have a community that's okay and that has very good conditions of living. So now, developing countries are very different from one another. They have unique challenges, they have unique societies. So they don't really all face the exact same challenges, but most of these challenges fall within the same categories. They are always around poverty, around hunger, around health. There's no health. There's no like formal healthcare system. They have problem with corruption, corrupt governments are the common standard within developing countries. That's one of the main problems. If you have a corrupt government, then mostly everything else also falls apart. So one of the first things that we need to fix in developing countries is the part of getting corrupt governments, and blockchain can help with that. So one way of helping developing countries fight corrupt governments is to actually make them accountable for what they are doing. And which way is better to make them accountable than to have all their movements stored in an immutable registry such as blockchain? So the idea of this is that you would have all the government movements on blockchain, and this way they can't tamper with that without leaving a trace. So everything they do is out there, and everything they do, they have to be accountable for. So there's no misplaced money, or there are no like choosing selfishly who does anything on the government. So this helps to keep governments doing what they should do. It also helps the institutions, government institutions. If you have government institutions that actually do their work and work for the people, then you will get a better country. You have to work on the policies. So using blockchain to avoid corrupt governments by making them accountable after actions is one of the main ways that blockchain can help. This is a very complex problem, and implementing and deploying these blockchain solutions is not something that happens one day from another one. It's something that takes time, but it's a very big solution for a very big problem, and it actually works really well. You can really, really use it. And to hold accountable, it doesn't have to be only the government. For example, here in Venezuela, we have corruption basically everywhere. So it can also happen, for example, universities. We have a lot of cases of universities where people forge degrees, where people just buy themselves into admissions. So also having all this information on blockchain and making people accountable for their actions can help have a better education system, because none of this could happen. Hi, Stella. If you have any more questions, please remember you can ask them. I'm reading everything you're writing. Thank you so much. And also happens, for example, when you got to do paperwork related with the government, you have to go like through huge lines of people. It's really hard to get your paperwork done because nothing works as it is. You always have to hire people from the outside at very high rates to help you with your paperwork, because doing it the legal way is very hard. Sometimes it's nearly impossible. So again, having all these movements on blockchain and making people accountable for what they're doing is one of the ways that blockchain can help. So I'm getting some questions. I'm going to answer the question about bolivars in just a few seconds. So there's another way that blockchain can help developing countries. And actually, Venezuela is one of the countries that most uses this. And it's the fact of having your savings and moving your money with cryptocurrency or other tokens. So I don't know how aware you are of the situation here, but our economic situation is very bad. Our local currency is actually worth nothing. Our inflation for last year was about 7,000%. A normal country has 1.5% inflation. We had 7,000, a little bit over 7,000. So having bolívares is actually losing your money. There's a lot of people here that have their savings, especially on Bitcoin, but you can see how it's changing. And for example, people change Bitcoins to bolívares with local BTC, local Bitcoins, the page called local Bitcoins. And actually on 2019, Venezuela was accountable for 18% of all the transactions of local Bitcoins, followed only by the US, which was 9%. So Venezuela is 18%, and the next one is 9. So Venezuela was actually the country that most used local Bitcoins, and it was $305 million that Venezuelans moved around local Bitcoins. So it's a way that people get over inflation. It's a way that people protect their savings and protect their money. Now there's also, you can also have EOS and Telos traded directly to bolívares. We have a coin called Crypto Local. Unfortunately, it has been down for a few days, but it's very good. We were able to change Telos and EOS directly to bolívares, and it was really easy. If not, you can also do it through local Bitcoins. So you just get your Bitcoins to local Bitcoins and you get the bolívars, and it's very easy. It really helps a lot. And hola Elena, ¿cómo estás? Gracias por unirte. So let me see if you have any more questions. My specialty. Well, my specialty, I'm a civil engineer, and I have been working in marketing for around 2 years. So you have any more questions? Let me see. Well, now that Elena is here, I want to make a special call out to the team EOS del Tigre. I know they used a lot of EOS to buy and sell goods within themselves, and they also have donations. For example, last year they make a donation to the hospital, and here at Telos we help them with a little donation from ourselves. So they're doing a really good job with that, and they're using Telos, so that's very good. There's a lot of money being moved with blockchain and cryptocurrencies in Venezuela, but not every people uses them. The percentage of people that uses cryptocurrencies is not that high. because not a lot of people really understand how it works. And many of them are still in the bubble that cryptocurrency is bad. Like, Bitcoin is bad, it's only used for black market, and it's slowly changing. And people are starting to realize that you can actually use it. There are many stores right now that accept cryptocurrencies as payment methods. And there are many projects to keep implementing this because bolivares are really, really useless right now. And getting dollars is not that easy. So cryptocurrency is a really, really great opportunity to help people get what they need and make a living out of it. Okay, any more questions? Let's see. You're welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Okay, so another way, for example, that Telos is helping Venezuela is, okay, look, I have the numbers exactly for you. There are about 10 million people in Venezuela that are using cryptocurrencies, and our population is about 30 million. So it's actually a big number. 10 million out of 30 people use crypto. That shows how this technology is really helping us here get by. So, no. The stores that are mainly accepting cryptocurrencies right now is something that we know as bodegones. So their specialty is bringing imported goods, mainly from the US. And those are the ones that accept, they accept dollars, they accept cryptocurrencies, and they accept stuff like that. Right now, our government has their own cryptocurrency known as the Petro, but that's a whole different thing. Nobody knows where that comes from. Nobody minds it. Nobody knows where it comes from. They control it, they give it away, and they are going to start forcing people to use Petros to pay for everything around the government, but you don't even know how to get them. So that's actually, it doesn't mean that our government accepts cryptocurrencies. It just means that they're creating their own cryptocurrency just to keep controlling things more than they already are. And it's really, really complicated. Okay, so the minimum wage here, today it's actually about 450,000 bolivares. The thing is that dollars today are like, what, 78,000? $1 today, because this changed daily. I mean, on a daily basis, this is always changing. So today, $1 is equal to 78,000 bolivares. So minimum wage today is about $3 a month for a person. So just picture that, $3, and that's it. And sometimes it's less. So really, right now, you know that there's a lot of people that has left Venezuela, that has moved to other countries. And one way that they help their families and loved ones that are still here is with cryptocurrencies, because it's way easier than sending fiat currency. So it's also a way that people from the outside help the people that are in here. They send them cryptocurrencies, and that really helps a lot. Yeah, it's really sad. It's a very hard situation, actually. The government controls all of that. It's really hard to get fiat currency from outside to people inside the country, because the government controls everything. So cryptocurrencies are a way of bypassing that and actually getting the help through. It has really helped the country. Cryptocurrency is not bad. We really have uses for it here, and it really helps a lot. So, for example, another way that Telos is helping here in Venezuela is through block producers. There are several block producers from here in Venezuela that are working with Telos. And we have the worker proposals. So that also helps a lot, because we have opportunities to work on other things and get to know other people, get involved in other businesses.
As our team.
And that's it. As our team, we are very thankful to have the opportunity to work with Telos, because it has really been a great opportunity, and we have really get involved with it and learned a lot. And I know that Telos blockchain is a powerful blockchain that can really help get things better. If we do all these things that I've been telling you, how it works, how it helps, Telos blockchain can really, really help. So, well, we function working with a lot of things. We get a lot of jobs, we work in a lot of different things, and people get a lot of money from the people outside. And well, if you're lucky enough to work, for example, in an international company, or well, you are a corrupted person and you get money from the government, you function very well. But the majority of the people here are having a hard time. It's really hard to get your basic needs, actually. Really, really hard. Yes, we try to get income sources from outside of the country, which is what our team is doing. We have, that Stella is asking about our team. So our team is mainly comprised of 4 core people. It's myself, Rafael Rodriguez, Daniela Vegas, and Andreina Vegas. And we have other people who work with us also, like our designer, and we have someone that helps us with the English, as we have told you with our work proposal. We have someone helping with that. So in the end, we're kind of a big team working all together here for Telos Feed. If you have any other questions, anything else, I also want to take this opportunity to thank to Stella for organizing Telos Tuesdays, and to invite all of you who have a BP, all of you who have a worker proposal, who have a project, or any one of you who is an active member of the community, to join Telos Tuesdays and schedule your appointment, get in touch with Stella, schedule your appointment, and let's keep this going. Every Tuesday, we need someone new here. So let me see, what else can I tell you about blockchain here? Okay, you have more questions? Who else is here? Thank you so much, Stella. Okay, so remember, this is a very, very complex subject. It's not easy to talk about a developing country. They are not all the same. Solutions are not unique. They are not easy. And blockchain is a very accessible technology, and it really presents itself as a solution for many other things, especially for payment method. So no, there are more exchanges, but local Bitcoins is the most used one. There's also a Dash exchange here, but mainly it's local Bitcoins. That is what the majority of people work to. Actually, here in Venezuela, when mining was like starting, and when it began to become a really big business, there were a lot of mining farms, steel farms, a lot of mining farms here, because electricity here is very cheap and internet here is very cheap. So there were a lot of huge mining farms here, a lot of people involved with that. And the government we don't have a legislation about blockchain or cryptocurrencies, but they sort of just let it pass. And a lot of people also have lived with that, because it's something very accessible for people here. So let me know if you have any more questions, if you have enjoyed this AMA, if you would like to know anything else. I don't know if someone wants to join. Tell me a little bit about your experience, if we have any other Venezuelans here that are listening to us. So, well, part of the BPs also, it's important to mention, we have Telos Venezuela and Telos Venezuela. Both of them have social programs, so they help a lot of people. They give a lot to the community. Okay, so here is Stella. Welcome. Plus. Okay, I'm trying to get you through. Just 1 second. Well, let me tell you a little bit more about the problems we have here in Venezuela. For example, I was telling you that electricity is very cheap, but it's also not constant. Like we here in Caracas, Caracas is the main country, is the main city. Here it's like the capital, it's a modern city. We don't really have electricity problems, but many of the cities from other places of the country have regular scheduled blackouts. like it's scheduled, they have them all the time. That happens a lot. We also have problems with drinking water. We have problems with health, with sanitation. And these things are all because corruption and because systems are not really taken care of. So, well, I guess that if you don't have any more questions, I have told you this is a very brief introduction about what developing countries face and how blockchain can help. I really thank you very much, then, for joining, for watching this video, for asking your questions. If you have any other questions, you just feel free to contact anyone from our team here in Telos Feed. You can look for us in Twitter, in Instagram, in LinkedIn. We are on Reddit, we're on YouTube. So please just get in contact with us wherever you want. Ask us anything. If you have a project you want to talk with us, I really invite you to get in touch. Well, thank you, Telos, very much for giving us this opportunity to work with you. We hope we can keep working for a long time now. So thank you so much. And goodbye from here, Telos Feed, from here, Venezuela, and hope you enjoyed this. Thank you very much. Stop.